Hi, this is Class Creatives, and this week we're going to be talking about how to avoid fake job offers. Now, this has been happening online for quite some time now, especially during the pandemic, and with a lot of studios going remotely for job offers. This is going to become a more common practice to try and get artists to apply to fake job emails and job offers. So there's a good post from Artstation. A lot of the emails that these fake scammers are coming to artists for, they're basically scouring the Artstation profiles and finding your email address. If you have an account there, a lot of artists are using that to apply for jobs. It's always been the industry standard. And these fake recruiters are trying to email your personal email accounts to offer you fake job opportunities. And in this video, we're going to basically be talking about how these offers can be spotted when you receive an email. So if you're new to the industry, you may right away be excited that a big studio is contacting you. There's been some really big name studios. We're going to cover a few of the accounts that people have been seeing. And we're also going to cover a little bit about how some of these jobs can be spotted in your email. So if you take a look at the actual offer, some of them that are standing out is that they're coming from a Gmail account. You'll never see a studio using a Gmail account. They'll be using their own studio account. So that's one of the first giveaways. We actually received an account that wasn't using a Gmail account, and it actually looked a little more official. So they're getting a little more tight on how they're sending these things. So we're going to go through a few of the things that you can spot for how to not get scammed by these guys. So one thing that you can take a look at is how these scams are working. So as I stated, they get your email from Artstation. And this is an example of an email example on the Artstation website. And you can kind of see here some of the offers that they're having. And a lot of times what they'll have here, what they're stating is the Gmail at the top. You're also going to see that sometimes they'll have these weird extensions. You're not going to really ever see that. It's usually going to be from a recruiter or the recruiter's name at the studio. So that's the biggest giveaway. Now, the other things you can also do is if you look at some of these names that are on these accounts and you go and you look and you see if these individuals actually work at these studios, they're usually not going to be working there. So that's another giveaway. Now, it looks like a legit job if you don't really look at all these details, and if you start skimming through, you can see that a lot of this does kind of line up. But I've also noticed that some of these job descriptions are really not that specific. They're kind of vague, which if you're a new artist, it might sound great, but they're not specific enough for a real studio, especially a large studio. Even Bluepoint Games is a pretty large company. What you can see here is that they're asking for a generalist, and they're asking for 2D and 3D skills. It's kind of rare that you're going to find a job in a big studio that they're going to be asking for multiple job disciplines for you to be well versed in 2D and 3D, to know 3D Studio Max, and to be able to be doing 2D work. It is very possible this is actually one that kind of could line up as a generalist, but it's a little bit oddly worded for a actual studio that does real production. So that's another kind of a giveaway, is that they're looking for 2D, but then they're describing a lot of 3D skill sets that are in the job description. So that's another giveaway. And the other things that have been pointed out that's very strange is that they tell you to contact them through this Telegram app. This Telegram app is never how interviews are going to be conducted. Again, you can also see and look up that they use these generic type of names. Even though this could be someone that works there, if you go on your LinkedIn and you take a look at this individual, they're not really actually working at these studios because it's not a real person. So the Telegram app, there's a good description here about what the Telegram app is. It is a legitimate app. It's just they're using this app because they can hide behind it, and then it's basically untraceable. So the real giveaway here is that no studio is going to ever ask you to do an interview through this Telegram app. They're either going to do a call with you through Zoom, or they're going to actually call you on the phone, or they'll give you sometimes a Google Hangout link, depending on how large the studio is. But larger studios are going to probably be doing a phone call with a couple of steps first. They're not going to have you be doing a third-party app like Telegram. Now, there's a couple other things that are red flags, but this is usually after they have already contacted you and got your information. So if you were to reply to this and you were to download that app and talk with them, I've had a few friends in the industry who have other students that were kind of contacted in this manner. They do a few interesting things. A lot of times these emails are actually sent on a Friday, hoping that you can basically kind of give them information, and then you're kind of in the loop and hanging out without any information over the weekend. They've contacted individuals that, like I've stated, are in my network, and with other students that are new to the industry that have never really been contacted by big studios, and they were asked to send their driver's license. In this description, they're saying they're wanting your banking information, again, photos of your identification, your driver's license. So if you actually send that information, then there's some other tips that they're stating that they're going to be asking for, such as you paying for hardware from a vendor that they supply so that you can get your remote working workstations and things like that, which will actually never happen. If a studio is going to require hardware, external hardware that you don't possess, they'll either refund you on your bank account through their payroll, or they'll send you the equipment directly. They're not going to usually have you pay for something and then get a refund. Now, Artstation has been really great, and they provide this article with some tips and resources that you can contact individuals if you have been scammed, or if you have been sent anything that you can report. I'm going to link that in the video description. And what I want to cover over here is an example of one of the emails that we received. This is an example of an email that we received through our Artstation. We didn't receive it directly through Artstation, but they sent it to our actual account. And you can see this is a pretty good one. It looks like it's a real email. It's sent from Elizabeth here, but you can see her name is misspelled. And you can also see her email address, and it says it's info@Treyarch Game Studio. So it looks like it's a real legit email sent from a recruiter. Treyarch is a huge company, but the thing about Treyarch Game Studio is that that's not their actual email or website handle. It's actually Treyarch.com. And you can also see that the via get response is also it's not being actually sent from, even if they were using Treyarch Game Studio, it's not even being sent from that. It's being sent from this other account, and it's not flagged as spam or anything in Gmail or G Suite, which is what we're using. So it does really go into your inbox, and it can, if you skip through this, it can look like a real actual job offer. Now let's take a look at the body of the email. All of this looks pretty good. The pay rate is about right. Full-time, part-time, remote, that's standing out to a lot of people. A lot of people are looking for remote work right now. You can look at, again, what really stood out is the job descriptions. They're talking about having a 2D artist, again, and the qualifications look pretty good here with Photoshop, 2D skills, and then the benefits, they kind of line up if you were going to work full-time with them. But one thing is, you're probably not going to get full-time work with remote at a large studio like this, especially now with the pandemic starting to kind of recede a little bit. It's a little bit odd you'll be getting this, but even if all this lines up, one thing that really is strange about this one is, again, if you look about the job, they're stating again here that they earlier stating that they wanted a 2D artist, but then you basically are the concept artist. That's basically what this is for, illustrator concept artist. But then here they're stating that you're gonna be working as a 2D and a 3D artist who works closely with their concept, environment, and design team. But if you got this job, you are going to be working as a concept artist. So it's also worded very strangely. I think it's for someone who's really eager for a job. desperate to get some work and not really reading the terms very closely, you're not going to really see some of the discrepancies in a real job offer. Now, again, here you can see the scam that is being done with the Telegram app, telling you to download this app to make a call with Michael Baker. And you can also see that this Elizabeth Smith, which is not even spelled correctly, is representing Treyarch. So if you were to go on your LinkedIn, you can see that there is no Elizabeth Smith and there is no Elizabeth Smith. There is nobody under this name at all working for Treyarch. So that's another way to verify that you are actually getting a real email from somebody. You're going to just want to be double checking all of the contacts that are in there. But the dead giveaways are obviously going to be if they're using that Telegram app. So it's really just something to have on your radar. Now, one other thing that I wanted to link to you as well in the comments is this Reddit thread. And this Reddit thread has a lot of, some individuals that have been contacted by various studios. There's some from 343 that have done some of these things, 2K Games. So some really big contacts, some really big name companies, and they're none of them are even affiliated with any of this, and some of them are not maybe even aware that some of these things are going on, and there's really not a lot that they can do. It's really on your part to really understand the interview process and how things work. And if you're new to the industry and you've taken some of our courses, it's very possible that you've never been contacted by a large studio, and with everything that's going on, you may be thinking that there actually is somebody reaching out to you trying to get you a job, and they could be contacting you to purchase like a MacBook, which you would really actually, some of the things that they might be having you do is that again here, a MacBook is not something that's going to be used by a AAA game studio. So some of the things they could be actually having you purchase is not going to really even line up with exactly the type of hardware that these real AAA studios are going to be using. So again, for a veteran, it'll stand out like, a sore thumb. But the thing is that if you're new, these things to you may not stand out as easily. So just want to take some of that time to just point this out to a lot of our students that maybe have never been contacted by some of these AAA studios, and there's a lot of remote work options that are still popping up, and we just want to make sure that you are aware and that you're alert with everything that's going on. We're going to go ahead and link all of these resources in the description here, and if you have any comments or if you've been contacted by any of these vendors, please let us know. Tell us your story in the comments. And if you have any other questions, always feel free to reach out to us. We'd be glad to help. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.